Hello everyone, my name is Eric and welcome back to Carnage Reviews. If you can't tell by the title of the video or by the t-shirt I'm wearing what the film is today, well, I don't know what to tell you there. But we are looking at a film that I feel is very misunderstood. We're looking at 1980's serial killer film, Maniac. So before we go out tonight, I told you not to go out tonight. Just a quick reminder that if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's the best way to keep up to date with everything going on here at Carnage Reviews. Just stab that subscribe button and then slash that bell notification icon to be notified when I upload new content. If you wish to support the channel further, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee page. A link to that is in the description below. Maniac was directed by William Lustig, and it stars Joe Spinell and Carolyn Monroe. Makeup effects wizard Tom Savini also has a small role in the film as Disco Boy and is in one of the most classic scenes in the movie. A remake of the film was released in 2012 and it starred Elijah Wood, if you can believe that. It's actually a very well made film and deserves a video at some point of its own. Frank Zito is your typical guy. He loves his mom, likes long walks on the beach, quiet nights at home, and occasionally going out. Oh, did I mention he also kills women, scalps them, and then nails their scalps to mannequins? Nothing weird about that, right? Hell, I did that the other day. No, I didn't do that. Please don't call the police on me. Maniac is essentially a character study where we get to see through the eyes of a serial killer. The main character is the villain of the story. There's no knight in shining armor. No one to root for. Or is there? You know, when I was a young lad, I'd always wondered about Maniac. When I finally got to see it, I liked it, but I've always been more fond of another serial killer film, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. I always thought of Maniac as just like a gory slasher film. However, after rewatching this movie for the review, I gotta say that I really underestimated the film. The little details and things that I missed before are very fascinating. So let's talk about the character Frank Zito for a moment. Now, this film predates Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, I want to say by 5 or 6 years. Joe Spinell's performance is very good in this film. The expressions, the way he speaks, the way he moves, it comes off very realistic. I mean, if you didn't know that this guy was in such films as Rocky or The Godfather, you'd think, fuck, is this guy actually even acting? One thing I can't believe I never noticed before is that Frank doesn't actually like the killing. He is disgusted by it, conflicted. In fact, in the beginning of the film, when he kills the prostitute, he throws up afterwards. It's very interesting because I think back in this time period even, I think people were mostly used to black and white in films where there's a clear good guy and there's a clear bad guy. There's no gray. And this film kind of toes the line of that in that, it humanizes him. No, I'm not saying Frank's not a bad guy. He most certainly is. He's a serial killer and he's killing innocent people. He's a monster. But the fact that he is bothered by the kills humanizes him a little bit. It doesn't make him the typical boogeyman. The special effects were done by Tom Savini, so of course they look great. Even by today's standards, they still hold up pretty well. You're going to get a lot of the red stuff. There's a really classic scene with Tom Savini in it, actually, where his head basically explodes. And he actually made a cast of his own head, and it comes off really well done, and it looks good even by today's standards. So even though this film is gory, it's definitely all about the psychology. We're seeing this guy run around killing women and scalping them, but where are the police? Where's someone to stop him? They're nowhere to be found in this film. We're basically just forced to see the world through this guy's eyes. There's a scene where Frank is talking to a mannequin, and the mannequin's a young boy. And I can't believe I never pieced this together before, but the mannequin is supposed to be Frank as a young child, which makes me think that perhaps he's killing in cycles. And what's interesting, too, is we never really learn how his mother dies in the film. He does say that his mother died in a car accident, but who knows if that's really the truth. It almost makes you think that maybe, like in Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, perhaps he killed his mother, and maybe with him killing all these women, he's just killing his mother over and over again. And like I said before, he clearly feels disgusted by these killings, which is why I think he scalps the women, and then puts their scalps on mannequins. There's a scene actually where he tells one of his victims that he's not going to kill her, he's going to keep her so she'll never go away. So what I think he's trying to do is he's trying to preserve them, and I think he, in a way, is maybe trying to bring back his mother too. And I gotta say, whoever did the set design for Frank's apartment did a really good job. There's all kinds of creepy shit throughout the apartment, and it really fits the tone and mood of the film. And it looks like a place that a serial killer like Frank would live. But you know, I have to laugh every time I see this scene where Frank's coming into his apartment after killing somebody. There's a Christmas tree in the corner of the apartment, and you know it's funny. You know, even though he kills women and scalps them, he has time to get a Christmas tree, and you know he's got the holiday spirit. So I guess that's a plus. That's a good thing with Frank there. I guess he's got the holiday spirit. There are several scenes in the film where Frank is talking to himself, either internally or out loud, and I find those scenes very effective because you get to kind of go into his mind and see what he's thinking and feeling, and you learn about the character. But it always makes you wonder, though, is he talking just to himself? Is he talking to his mother? Or is he talking for his mother? So there's another scene in the movie that makes me laugh every time I see it. So in the film, Frank meets this woman who's a photographer, and they form like a friendship, semi dating maybe a little bit. And so, anyways, there's a scene where he goes to visit her at a photo shoot, and she's taking photos of these models. And it just makes me laugh so hard because there's a song that's playing in the background.
Okay. Right. Right. Closer.
And it just doesn't fit at all with the movie, the tone, anyways. And it makes me laugh because the song is like this disco song, and they're like singing "Going to the showdown."
Oh, smile. That's it. That looks so good. Okay.
And there's one point of the song where they're like, "Yeehaw!" And oh god. And then another part of the song that makes me laugh is they're in part of the chorus. They go yippee ki-yo, ki-yay.
Really? No, that's okay. Smiling. That's great. Wet your lips. Wet your lips, Joe. That's beautiful.
I have to admit, though, that the song is pretty damn catchy. In fact, it's so catchy that I had it in my head for days. So much that I actually had to look up the song on YouTube. And sure enough, I found it. And you know what's interesting is that one of the lyrics in the song is actually, "Put on something nice, just in case you die. You'll leave a pretty corpse behind." So I guess, holy shit, I guess the song really does fit with the movie. As I mentioned before, Maniac was remade in 2012. The remake stars Elijah Wood in the role of Frank, believe it or not. And this is actually a rare circumstance where the remake is equal, if not at times superior, to the original film. One thing I'll say, though, is that in the original film, the character of Frank is much better, I feel. Elijah Wood is a good actor, but Joe Spinell just fits the role a lot better than he does. Both films, however, are very well made, and they're both worth a watch. And at some point, I really do need to do a video of the remake because it's definitely a very good film. Maniac is a very dark and depressing look into the mind of a serial killer. Picture-wise, it doesn't look the best. It's kind of grungy and grimy, but you know, considering what the film is about, it actually works. It fits with it. And I think that Henry portrait of a serial killer is a lot more effective because when you follow the character around in Henry, you actually learn to identify with him and kind of like him actually, which makes it even more scary to think about that you're identifying with a serial killer. With Frank, I don't think you're going to identify with him. If you do, you got some problems. But with that said, Maniac is a very interesting look into the mind of a killer. It's got some great effects. Joe Spinell is a really good actor, and he does a really good job with his role. Almost too good at times because, like I said, if you didn't know that this guy was in other films, you'd think, wow, did they just find a serial killer and shoot him one day? But with all that said and done, I give Maniac 4 skulls. Hey, thanks for checking out today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on Maniac. If you enjoyed today's video, please tap that like button as hard as you can. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. With all that said, guys, good night, good morning, good afternoon. Whenever you're watching this video, take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.